10 leader. Welcome to another episode of the JayWalkin podcast. This episode is all about my introverts. So, all my nerds out there who are introverted, bro, let's unite, bro. Let's assemble the team of all the introverts out there in the world, whether it's for the nerds, those are in the fashion, gaming, comic books, whatever it can be. Let's all the introverts unite, bro. Let's just come together for this episode. And if you're not an introvert, please even still join us because this is going to be another special episode. And also, bro, shout out to when plans are canceled, because every time that happens, I just love it because I want to stay home. I want to stay home, rest up, whether it's to play video games, watch anime, spend time with my wife, or just hang out and watch TV, like whatever it is. I love from time to time when plans are canceled. And if you relate to this episode, I'm pretty sure you do as well. Now, speaking of introverts, I just want to again shout out to, the introverts and the nerds out there who have a tough time, just interacting with others, whether it's just within that same community or just like people outside of that as well. Because, sometimes being an introvert in a world that is so loud and just echoes like all the media hype and noise that you just see in our day-to-day lives, it can be pretty challenging, pretty tough. Because I know for me, like someone who is like always introverted or like more reserved than usual compared to like most people, it was tough. It's literally tough to just speak out and just express your thoughts and feelings without your voice being drowned out by an even louder voice known as life and just other people's opinions. And I'm not gonna lie, my own habits of like my own introvertedness, it just comes up every single time because I know again, like when someone cancel plans, like there's a part of me that loves it because I'm like, okay, I get to stay home and not to do anything and just be in my PJs and just relax, But there's also a part of me that feels kind of bad when the plans fail because there's times where I just don't directly state no and be like, yeah, man, like make up different excuses and reasons of why I shouldn't go instead of just flat out saying like, no, I just don't want to do it today. And there's another habit I have too, where I literally just like stall and just wait until like someone like mentions something about a plan. And if they don't, I could just be like, oh, well, I didn't know it was a plan. Like I didn't see the message, knowing clearly that I saw the group message or the message that was sent to me before, the events of going out, the next day show up. And honestly, like I just have that tendencies because again, I'm so used to just like having some quiet, chill nights, being home, resting and relaxing. And it definitely does show up too when I'm out and about and I'm out for like like a long period of time. And let's say it's like past like 10:30, I'm just ready to come home and just go to bed because I'm getting up to that point where I can't be up all night just playing games or watching TV. So there's just time where I just need to lay down in my bed around 10:30, 11, and so I can just fully like immerse myself and be like, okay, I can relax. I don't need to go out to have fun. I could just be here. And that's what I've been doing lately. Like I just been just staying in my house pretty much the time, just spending time with like, my partner and just like hanging out with friends and even just watching TV from time to time because, I'd rather just have that type of, life and just be so immersed in like my own little world where I could just watch as many anime episodes I can or rewatch the same episodes of Solo Leveling and the fights. So if you know about the anime because Solo Leveling right now is the greatest thing right now. And also, my partner's an introverted as well. She likes to be in home most of the time, and she likes to rest and just kind of stay to herself. And I just love that about her. So, wife, if you listen to this, shout out to you, and just know I love you. But the reason why I'm saying it is because I'm learning a little bit more of that introverted life from her too. Because, I used to go out all the time and I still love to do that. But there's times where I'm like, all right, bro, I could just chill out. I could just be in my own room and just relax. Or I could just watch TV. Or I shouldn't feel bad that, oh, I didn't go to the beach or stepped out today. It's okay to just be inside and just relax and just be one with myself, so to speak. Now, I know my introvertedness also show up too, like when I first went to conventions where I'm seeing so many different people and so many different, culture and ethnicity that, I was just like just sticking to my own group of people of like, okay, this is like my culture, like the black nerd culture. I want to stick with that. But even going a step further, like when I'm at these conventions, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just stay with the friend I came with and just kind of not interact with other people besides like pictures that I want to take. And it got so bad that literally like my friend, when I went to my first convention at the time, he was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, have fun. Just, you're in a safe space where all the other nerds are at and just all the other people that likes the same thing as you do. Why not just, ease up a little bit on yourself? And ever since then, like the introvertedness still comes up at conventions where I like to keep to myself or keep with the group that I'm with and just kind of let the whole event play out while I'm just in my own little world. But then there's time where I pull myself out of it and just have conversations with people. And also in group chats too, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm a big person. I'm a big like presence when it comes to not being present. So meaning that I'll be in a group chat and I will barely look at it or barely type in it. But once it like start to be active or I just type something in there once, that's like as much of interactions as you're gonna get from me because every time you're in a group chat, when one person texts one thing, all of a sudden, like there's a floodgate of just people just texting like nonstop, and you're just like looking at your phone, then putting it down, looking at your phone, putting it down, looking at your phone. It's like it's just too chaotic for me from time to time. And sure, I'll indulge it and engage with it because my social battery is pretty high. But then when those are those days where I'm just like not really with the social interaction, I just like look at the chats and just kind of keep to myself. I don't really interact with it and I just leave it alone, so to speak. Even when I feel misunderstood at times, like I try my best to just remove myself from the situation or conversation. Now, with being misunderstood, part of that is on me. I will say that because being an introverted, or more reserved naturally, I just tend to find myself in situations where I'll communicate something or something is being communicated with me. And based off like my demeanor, whether it's my looks, like and my facial expressions, or just like body language, it just comes off as like something that's being misunderstood at that time. Because when you're an introvert, bro, like you just kind of stay to yourself and not interact with other people, that you just kind of get used to it, while other people who may not be used to it just looks at as like rude or like disrespectful, which is not the case. But it can come off like that because the whole point of it is being misunderstood. And I know for myself, I've been trying to work on that by being more interactive. But for those who are still introverted and just kind of still in that same habits and patterns, like, bro, like I can understand that. If you need to recharge your social battery, do that, because that's so much important than trying to appease or like try to continue on while your social battery is already low. Like you need to recharge, bro. Just take some time to yourself, disconnect for a little bit and come back when you're ready. Whether you're at a convention, uh house party, a friendly get together, family gathering, wherever it could be. Just take some time to recharge and just be able to, you know, do that for yourself. And also set limits. Like, yes, as an introvert, if you want to do something more, like you have to be more extroverted. But if you don't really want to, just set those boundaries and set those limits for yourself. Like, say no. Like, it's okay to say no. You cannot believe the amount of time and energy I save myself from that embarrassment of like wanting to turtle in and just kind of reclude away by just saying the word no. So just try that a little bit more often. Just say no and just practice it. I know it may be difficult, especially for us introverts when we hear the word no. like that's a great feeling. But when we have to say the word no, it's a whole different, beast of itself. So just try your best to just say no and practice that, with smaller things. And obviously with the big things, work your way up to that. And that'll be another way to manage your, energy and attention for yourself, because if you have so much energy because you're setting limits for yourself and recharging, and disconnecting, you then are able to be in the present moment more often than just forcing yourself to work on an empty battery, so to speak. So I'm just curious for you guys, like, what are your stories? Like, what is the times when you felt like introverted, or you felt like, hey, like this person canceled the plan, so I'm great that I can just stay at home? Or just tell me a time where, you felt like, you know, your social battery was running low, and what did you do to recharge it? I'm curious and interested about like all, facets of like you guys' lives, because at any given point, everyone here experience being like introverted or like distant from others, because we want to make sure ourselves is good and just filled with energy and fill our water up, so to speak, before we can like empty it out into other people's glasses. So I'm just curious of what do you guys like stories are and just interactions. And if you've been leaving comments so far, I will try my best to reply to all of them. Particularly with this episode, I want to see the engagement. But if you have been engaging like in the other episodes, continue to do so. I'm still going to respond to you at any given point. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been on my mind about, just introverts and just interacting with the world that's so loud around us. Because, you know, while the world and just people around us can be loud, like we can get lost in the shuffle or be misunderstood or be tossed to the side because we're not standing up or being as social as, other people can be. But from one reserved introverted, working to be extroverted to another, just continue to be yourself and just continue to show up and just challenge yourself to be in situations where if there's an uncomfortability of speaking and just interacting with people, try your best to just engage with it. And if it gets to a point where you have to disconnect, do that. But always find yourself wanting to come back. And if you don't, that's also okay, because as an introverted and someone who's been reserved majority of their life, like it's so easy to disconnect and just be with ourselves and enjoy ourselves, which is completely okay and fine. But I know for myself, just practicing being with people and just interacting with others, that's literally my whole goal when it comes to, just life in general, is just continue to push myself and continue to express my thoughts and feelings without any fear or guilt. So I hope you can do the same for you. Again, like I said, just limit yourself and just say no, you know, figure out what works for you when it comes to that. Set boundaries, recharge when you ever feel like your battery is low, and then come back to manage your own time and energy and navigate, your own world and how your life is, and then go from there. That's pretty much what I have for this podcast. I know it may be a shorter one, but I just wanted to make a episode where, all of us can have a common goal and unite, you know, whether we're introverted, extroverted, or just anything in between. And please, again, like I said, comment on this post if you're watching it on YouTube or if you're listening on Spotify. I'm very curious about, your stories of like being introverted or your stories of being reserved, and how do you, manage your energy and time, and how do you like recharge, in life and just kind of get back in the swing of things. Let me know all about that, because, you don't have to be loud to be validated. You're still a vibe, and you're still walking along your journey and just being a better version of you, and hopefully a more interactive version of you, one step at a time. And hopefully you share your stories some other time. I thank you for listening and watching. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.